Welcome one, welcome all to a sun-washed Wednesday in the junction town of Chattanooga, Tennessee. There's fading daylight streaking in from beyond the Cumberland Plateau as we greet you from Chi Memorial Stadium. An encounter with real amperage in the USL League One has everybody at attention. To the division's big hitters in each other's way tonight as Chattanooga Red Wolves eagerly open up their home to AV Alta. Both sides revving up for the season's downhill run. Howdy, folks. With you for this one, I'm Peyton Gallagher. Match that will have electricity all throughout. And the tail of the table tells you why, as AV Alta currently sit in 5th in the division with 25 points through the first 16 games. But with Fort Wayne already in action here and down to 10 men early in their match against One Knox across the state, Alta will sense an opportunity to get into those home playoff spots again. Chattanooga Red Wolves, only 12 matches played in 10th, fewest in the division. They need to pick up points with those games in hand to be punching up for the positions that they will abide coming into this season. As for tonight's players to watch, presented by WDEF News Channel 12, none other than Omar Hernandez. Already 6 goals for him on the year, tying his season total from a year ago. Such a divine talent that can open up a game from outside the box. He had a goal and an assist last time out against AV Alta in the March meeting between these two teams. He will have every intention to do much of the same here in his home venue tonight. For AV Alta and Brian Claben, their main man as of late has been Cesar Bahena, who got that goal, what would ultimately be the winner against Phoenix Rising last match out in the Prince Tires USL Cup. 3 goals for him since the start of the month of June, and the 22-year-old Californian has been lining things up for the Californian club, a team that gets offense from all over. He has been firmly in the mix these last couple of weeks. Well, it should be a good one. The appetite is wet for Chattanooga Red Wolves and AV Alta. The sparks will fly when we return. It's lineups and kickoff when we come back here in the state of Tennessee. Folks, don't go anywhere. Action about to pop off in the USL League One.
This isn't just a team. It's a statement. We don't just represent Chattanooga.
Let's get it poppin', let's get it poppin'.
We run it.
Let's get it poppin'.
Built to battle. Fueled by pride. Driven by the pack.
Let's get it poppin'.
Chattanooga Red Wolves.
And he scores!
Why do you always seem to be on that last flight home? Why is the customer always right, even when they're wrong? It's because when it's your business, you're all in. And no one's all in with you like EPB. Only EPB is all in with 100% fiber-fast internet that's always your best value. Plus experts all in to help you 24/7. We're all in Chattanooga, 'cause we're all in this together. EPB for your business. We're all in.
A night for the big business here in the Volunteer State. Californian club of AV Alta coming cross-country to see Chattanooga Red Wolves as we prepare for the pivotal stretch of this USL League One 2026 season. Lineups starting off with the home side for Scott McKenzie and the Red Wolves. This is the chosen 11 today. It is, of course, as always, that signature 4-4-2, but with 2 changes from the match last time out against San Antonio FC in the Cup. Outgoing Matt Bentley up at the top end of the lineup. Matthew Acosta picking up a little bit of a knock, not available here for selection today. In stepped Angelo Kelly, who has been swelling for form as of late, as well as Ropapa Mensah, who comes in almost at the very tippy top of the Red Wolves' all-time goal-scoring charts. He will lead the line for Chattanooga. As for AV Alta, it's a little bit more amended in terms of the squad selection for Brian Claben compared to the last game against Phoenix Rising. It will be 4 changes incoming. Denzel Smith in goal. Back again between the pipes. Eric Seja Gonzalez will be in front of him In the back line, Jerry Desdunes, one of the league's very best attacking outlets, will lead the line as the front man, that false 9 role, as well as Santiago Higuereta making his first league start of the season, the teenager from Santa Ana, California. Keep an eye on him and what he might offer with that youthful exuberance out on the wing. The key points in a styles makes fights type of game. Coach Scott McKenzie said straight up, there's an extra degree of tension because of how the two squads do things. Chattanooga don't want the ball. League low in possession all time last year. AV Alta set the opposite mark. They had the highest ever possession a year ago. That trend line has carried over into this year. And on top of that, to that point, AV Alta start out with a commensurate 11 that is of an average height of 5'9". Chattanooga Red Wolves, as we set off, an average height of 6 foot. Physicality and how AV Alta stack up to that on the road as they try and command with possession will be the key thing to keep tabs on. Red Wolves lost the last 2 games in a row, one in the league, one in the cup, but part of that 3 consecutive victories. They would like to get back to those winning ways. AV Alta coming off what has been one of their most solid stretches as a professional outfit, now in their 2nd year of operation. Only 1 league loss in their last 11, that coming to Union Omaha, the team that is at the top of the table. Put together 6 wins in that stretch. Once more with you, Peyton Geller here. AV Alta in the away gray. Red Wolves in that unmistakable home dark red. To the wide side. Pelivanov, Eric Seja Gonzalez. Thrust into a much more important role on the left side of that back 4 for Brian Claiborne after the long absence of Miguel Pajaro back there. It's a very rotational Alta team. Players have the freedom to seek the game wherever it may be, rotate and try and pull around this Red Wolves defensive shape that will be disciplined and almost stoic at times in their defensive duties. To that point, look at Jerry Desdunes dropping all the way into the back end to pick up the ball. He is the striker on paper today, but really in name only, as he will have a completely free role. Go and figure out where you can make the most damage. Stoppage of play and a chance to look at the injury report for this contest, presented by the Center for Sports Medicine. And the only major one to report is for Chattanooga, with Matthew Acosta coming up with a little bit of lameness coming out of that San Antonio game. Aggravated something in the training session approaching this game, and he's unavailable. Has been a mainstay in the middle of the park for Scott McKenzie. Unreported for AV Alta. Driving away is Jerry Desdunes. 5 goals and 5 assists for him on the year. Teaming with Adam Omesh. Gathered by Josh Ramos. Desdunes does like to maybe drift a little bit more to this favored near-hand side throughout the course of the game. Dumped in behind, and cover provided by Pelivanov. Rebels are drawing a little bit of a higher line in the sand. They do like to press when the game affords that luxury to them. Of course, when you've got the likes of the 6'2" Grayson Mercer and the 6'1" Earl Papamensa bearing down on you, take a high degree of composure in the first phase of build-up to keep clean and maintain possession all throughout the game today. Back line of AV Alta. Wolves, such a difficult team to dispatch between these 4 lines on their home patch. So far throughout the course of the season, they've outscored teams by a factor of 14-5. 3 of those came in one game against Charlotte Independence. Back to Jason Smith, who will try and tidy up and pushes it out for a throw. Could have been worse. The corner looked like it might be on the cards. Alta go quick. Desdunes spotting a free man at the top of the area. Jimmy Villalobos, the former Red Bulls player. Spent a couple years here. One of that has made a name for himself with several clubs in the USL League One. In fact, had a brace against Chattanooga Red Wolves in the first meeting between these two organizations last season. Skipped wide. Omesh. Wrong foots his defender into the middle. Loose touch. Desdoon. Omesh can't puncture. It can happen that quickly, though, for AV Alta, and they have a corner kick. There is a degree of rhythm and athleticism that proliferates the team that Brian Claben has put to pitch today. They play the sport with a dash of romance, if you will. The Wolves attach themselves to the contest with white knuckles all the way throughout. One team plays with a grin, the other one with gritted teeth. Dashed away. Red Wolves, chance to engage the counterattack. Snapping upon it. And numbers AV Alta. Now, if there is one big discrepancy between the year prior and the year present for Red Wolves, it is they have been slow starters. So far throughout the course of the campaign, they've conceded a joint league high 7 goals inside the first 15 minutes. And with how Red Wolves like to play against the ball, that has often defined the moments in which they haven't been able to actually behave like themselves in a game. They have to chase. First quarter hour could be massively instructive in how this one goes. What a touch by Omesh. Omesh queuing up a shot. Does have a taste for goal against these guys. Did score in the first meeting this year all the way back in the month of March, but couldn't get that one to dip. Enjoying a resplendent season. Adam Omesh on 6 goals for the year. Certainly his best as a professional, and that has given him the license to feel confident in moments like that cutting in. Away from the back. Matawole. Like a boot trailed high there, and that will catch the attention of center official Amit Hajic. The rest of the crew today. Also back in Tyler Samber running the lines, and will be Denny Klasenak, who is calibrating the board as the 4th official. It's a defining stretch here for Red Wolves coming up on the docket. Starting tonight, they will play 3 of the top 4 teams in a row over the next couple of weeks. Just the way the schedule broke for them. Only 12 games played, fewest in the entirety of USL League One. They will have their mettle tested as between now and the start of the month of August, they will see all 8 teams that are above the playoff line. The next 7 against teams that are just ahead of them in the table. Yes, the game's in hand, but get to really find out precisely how much expectation can be heaved upon this Red Wolf team coming weeks and months. Again, all 8 teams that are above the playoff line in the way of the Red Wolves before the end of the month of August. Alfredo Ortiz needed more lift to get over the head of defensively stand-stilling Pedro Hernandez. Ramos. Almost all of the ball, as you would expect, lying at the feet of AV Alta so far. Villalobos. Loose touch from Desdoon, kept in circulation. Spread wide for Omesh. Also are so good at maintaining that width. Scott McKenzie alive to that fact in conversation ahead of this match. Doesn't want his team to chase out there. Be grasping at shadows, want to make sure that they maintain that kind of rigidness and narrowness in their defensive structure and deny the pivotal area. Of course, the goal is in the middle of the field, and here's a good look at Scott McKenzie now. One of the league's brightest young coaches, has inspired a high level of discipline in this Chattanooga Red Wolves organization over the last 2 years. Seeking what would be his 40th win as manager for Chattanooga here today. Driving ahead is the hot hand of Cesar Bahena, making a big impact in his first season in the Valley. Higuereta, Ortiz, and Osvaldo Ley. Pelivanov up against his own touchline. A slick bit of dribbling in the middle, and now Villalobos hoping to pick the lock. Desdune drifted all the way wide for Omesh. And Omesh, he started brightly, but now having his second bite of the cherry for the contest has left both shots with something to be desired. Brian Claben in constant conversation, waiting for the game to speak back to him. So passionate about the way that Alta play and the reason why, and because of that exuberance, you get the sense that the entire squad is fully bought in. The church of possession, if you will. Sure that they would have been watching keenly to the performance of Spain today. Brian Claben having spent some time at the famed La Masia Academy, Barcelona, steeping in all the tutelage of some of the great minds the sport has ever seen. Twist and a shake from Desdune. Momesh again driving in. This time it will be a clean catch for Jason Smith. Did not start last match against San Antonio. Up for keeps. Maybe Alta will lay claim. Even down to the fact that one manager, Scott McKenzie, is wearing a white t-shirt, while Brian Claben wears a black one. These sides are antithetical in every way, and the first quarter hour has been revealing of that fact on full display. There are more than one way to skin a cat, if you will. Snappy tackle from Josh Ramos. Enjoying a really strong campaign, the 25-year-old, making his 12th start of the year at right back. He's been engaged in a thrilling battle with Adam Omesh today. Villalobos, an inspecting delivery down the line, headed away by Jordan Ayambila. First real touches of the match for Omar Hernandez, and it's a throw in to come. Wolves will like to maybe just slow the tempo a little bit. In fact, a foul is what the decision of the referee was there. Ryan Wessels. These moments where they do get to put a foot on it will be so crucial. Can they take some of the sting out of the game, break up some of AV Alta's rhythm when they do take hold of possession? This could be a bad giveaway, though. Grasping at it is Omesh, who gets dragged back. The referee won't make the call. Now they will. Omesh all but paused and forced the hand of the referee. There were some tugs of the shirt going both ways. Nonetheless, it will be a free kick of some menace for AV Alta. It's going to be chippy. There's mutual respect between the teams, but there's also a little bit of animosity. There were contentious ties a year ago. It was hot and heavy in the earlier fixture between these two squads in March, and we're on the same kind of trajectory here today. Loose in the box. That's because a foul had occurred in the process of gaining the ball for AV Alta. Jordan Ayambila, just a shove in the back. Lifted into the mid-park. A dazzling piece of skill. Played wide by Pedro Hernandez. Ramos rolling forward into the box. Ropapa-Mensah can't break the guard of Denzel Smith. A sturdy Centurion between the sticks, and Ropapa-Mensah's denied. He is one away from tying the club's all-time record held by Juan Galindres for career goals. And this was a gilded chance from what a delivery in by Ramos. Waited with that degree of deftness required. And as Mensah arrived and took it off the toes of Eric Ceja Gonzalez, that backheel finish coming a touch too late. First real chance going either way, and it's a Pepsi corner kick to come. Red Wolves have been good in the air. They've scored 4 headed goals. Not sure they'll get a chance here, a little bit overcooked. Kinsener keeps it on the center back, and into the corner. Him and Pelivanov. It's a throw in for the Red Wolves. There is efficiency in what Red Wolves do. You see it there. A team that is averaging the most goals they ever have. Chattanooga Red Wolves is one of the league's inaugural clubs. They get forward, and they get forward quickly. They have another corner. Again, note the height discrepancy. Chattanooga Red Wolves average height of the starting 11 today, 6 foot. AV Alta, 5'9". Pepsi corner kick, and alarm bells ringing. Maybe some blood in the water early on. Here comes from Wessels, into the mix, and in! Final touch applied by Ropapa-Mensah, and the Red Wolves roll off the line with a quick start against AV Alta, 1-0. A famous goal for the Tennessean club as Ropapa-Mensah puts himself amidst their all-time greats, leveling Juan Galindres for the all-time high mark in league goals. His 3rd of the year, and it comes in knock-and-thrust fashion, nothing to do for Denzel Smith. And Chattanooga Red Wolves on the charge, a goal to the good. Wasn't quite the bow that Ropapa-Mensah would have liked to have taken, wheeling away in celebration. Found himself ensnared in the net, but in some ways a fitting way for that player to get that historic goal. Not always the cleanest or the prettiest, but that man knows how to put it in the back of the net, and he does again. And that is precisely what the Volunteer State's Chattanooga Red Wolves needed to start this game off. AV Alta won't be too bothered though. 7 points gained from losing positions this year. Already the 3rd most in the division. Hole could get deeper still. Hernandez sliding in. Part of the idea is he wanted to go early, sensing the gap forming for Ropapa-Mensah. The Wolves might try and hit the gas here a little bit. See if they can't catch AV Alta dazed and compound the advantage before digging the trenches to defend the lead that they have. Snappy possessional play by AV Alta. They will not come out of their game. Very confirmed in their self-confidence and identity. Bahena, two players making the same run. A leg left out, foul called. The Wolves want to go fast. Referee will make sure the light stays green for them, specifically Grayson Mercer. A chop onto the left. Slotted centrally, a shot from distance, straight at Denzel Smith. Able to see it in time. Now Desdune is dispossessed, but illegally so by Ramos. Minutes in, Papamensa's goal has separated the sides. He did score against AV Alta last year for Greenville Triumph. 1 year departure between stays with this Red Bulls organization for Mensa. Spent last season in South Carolina. He's performing that trick again today. Villalobos. It was looking like a promising passage of play. Goes awry. Funnel Lay, swept wide for Anamomesh. Lay provides a supporting run around his left shoulder. A bit too narrow and trying to switch the point. Ayambila is all over it. Mercer providing that point of contact. The Wolves fail to keep it. High hung to the near touch line. Ramos puts a head in. Foul is called. Mounting number of them between the two teams shared. Already the 10th foul. Not even halfway through the first half. Ortiz. Just keep a mindful eye on the space between the midfield line and the defensive line for the Red Wolves. That's the area that AV Alta will look to pry at the seams in. Cycle players through from all areas of the field. We've even seen multiple times so far where Christian Ortiz has cheated into that vicinity from his natural posting at right back. Desdune. It's a well-spotted pass wide for Omesh. Again, finding the game at his feet. This time Ramos gets the better of him. And cleanly possessed by the Red Wolves. Wessels, Ramos. Pedro Hernandez picks his head up. Dangerous ball into the middle. Confiscated by AV Alta, who in turn have given it right back, away by Angelo Kelly. And there's daylight ahead. Ayambila, if he can keep it on, he cannot.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Due to the high temperature at tonight's match, the referee has indicated a safety...
USL Championship and League One are on the CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches, expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network, as well as ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com complete USL League One TV listings. Also do that at USLLeague1.com. As we hit the hydration break, Red Bulls right where they want to be. A goal from Ropapa-Mensah to get them a nose in front against AV Alta. Would be a little bit overdoing it to call it a 6-pointer for Chattanooga Red Bulls, but it's imperative that they get these games in hand to go their way. AV Alta start to climb back into the game, and they'll have the understanding that they're just going to keep applying pressure. That's what they do. The game belongs to them. They fancy themselves the protagonist anytime they step to the pitch. This was the goal that separated the sides. Corner kick coming, and Ropapa-Mensah able to peek through the crowd and put his head on it. You had the sense that given the starting 11 chosen by Scott McKenzie and specifically the strike tandem he rolled out, Matt Bentley taking a seat on the bench and making way for Mensah to partner with Mercer, he felt like they could win the physicality battle and have these moments of opportunity from dead balls. That's a gambit that's gone good so far. Now the question is, with this time to recalibrate the attacking ideas, can AV Alta figure out where all the uncomfortable places are in that defensive block for the Red Wolves? These hydration breaks do afford that extra opportunity to reorient the side. A game that is certainly starting to stew up what could offer great drama down the stretch. AV Alta will not let this go easily. Next up for them will be an away day at the weekend, a Tennessee two-step on the schedule. So we'll see the reigning champions, one Knoxville. That's on July 18th, including a stretch of games in which they've seen many of the league's elites. Union Omaha a couple games ago. In fact, in the midst of a stretch where they will see all the top 3 seeds over 4 games in a 17-day span. It's the only game that's not against one of the league's top 3, having played Omaha and Charlotte Independence to precede this. And this is no respite. Can't rest on your laurels against this Red Wolves team that almost demands you to bring the highest intensity that you can offer. Osvaldo Light, we are back in motion. Ortiz, Osvaldo Light, Desdoon. Pass and move. Already up over 200 passes for the game for AV Alta. They've controlled 77% of the ball. That being said, yet to see Jason Smith actually have to react to a shot. Maybe something to change in that regard here. Omesh. Omesh, he thought about it. Villalobos plowing wide. Higuereta to the end line, gets the better of his marker. A flailing punch from Smith that comes all the way through. Recovered by Jerry Desdoon. 10 goal contributions for him on the year in the league. Tilted toward the top of the box on the 1-2. It was nearly a glorious sequence for AV Alta. The Wolves had seen it go far enough. These clearances, just something to track throughout the course of the 90 minutes. Red Wolves, when they do clear it, they need to get it far away from goal so they can restructure and get back behind the ball. Half clearance is how you get killed against a team like Alta. Those moments won't hurt as much in the first half, but we get into the 85th minute or so. Tired legs. That extra little bit of rest is going to be massive. Lay from distance. Oh my goodness, he's left it just high. That was at least 35 yards. And did Jason Smith get a touch? The ball was rising all the way. This is pelted and takes a deflection just ahead of the goalkeeper who puts it onto the woodwork. That is some reaction from Jason Smith. Born in Fresno, not too far from the Antelope Valley. Coming off a dazzling campaign a year ago and showing off his quality at the half-hour mark. Would have been maybe the goal of the year from Osvaldo Way. Some mischief from Jerry Desdune at the corner flag. Gets it back from Ortiz, guides in a back post ball. Second one still might be there. Omish down Higuereta. Villalobos. Desdune. Desdune has almost been everywhere aside from where you'd expect a striker to be so far. Fighting through a crowd is Desdune, not to get that call. Composed defending from Pelivanov. Half an hour gone, Ropapa Mensah the only one to draw blood. Jabbing wide is Omesh. Omesh, an attempt to split a pair of defenders, doesn't come off, but he gets it back. Maybe Alta dancing around in a horseshoe shape, trying to enter that next gear. Ortiz flies one into the back stick, knocked down. Higuereta was lurking. Jason Smith late to arrive. That's because he was impeded. Still got a punch. Red Wolves have had an elephant sitting on their chest for the last 10 or so minutes. Finally, an opportunity for some deeper respiration. Turn to the CBS. Turn on CBS, I should say, on Saturday, July 18th for a USL Championship Eastern Conference showdown. Last season's champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC go head-to-head with the 2025 Players' Shield winners Louisville City FC. A must-watch match of the summer. Two elite clubs, one massive stage. Don't miss a minute of the action on the CBS network at noon Eastern on July 18th. Bit of a collision there. Referee looks as if they're going to immediately summon on the training staff. Appears to be goal scorer Ropapa Mensah in some extreme distress here. Him and Pelivanov just meeting at the summit. Ropapa Mensah the worse for wear in that collision. And obviously, he's already achieved some impact on the game, scoring the goal. You hope that he has what's required to continue on. This does not look good. Not sure if it was the actual impact with Pelivanov or him hitting the ground that caused the most damage, but there is a concerned stir hanging in the air all across Chime Memorial Stadium right now. Does look like Mensah is responsive at least, and that is a positive sign. night in which he tied one Colindres for Chattanooga Red Wolves all-time top marks in the scoring department in the league. Looks like the Red Wolves are going to have to make a change here. The natural choice would be Matt Bentley. It won't alter the overall affects of the strike tandem at the top. Bentley is much more of an active player, getting behind type. Still a big frame in his own right at 6'1". There's about a 20-pound difference in terms of heft between him and Ropapa Mensah. Mensah's really struggling. You just hope that this is not something that will beleaguer him long term. His day is done after 30-so minutes. He can take pride in a good shift. He scored from that corner kick and gives Chattanooga their position in the tie in the catbird seat against AV Alta. Everybody's thoughts with Ropapa Mensah as he gets the requisite medical attention here. We'll restart play with a drop ball. Matt Bentley is getting the match shirt. And off we go. It belongs to the Red Wolves out of the restart. Ramos rumbling. Chattanooga down to 10 men for the time being. Necessary reinforcement waiting in the wings. Skyscraping cross, back post to Mercer, who just loses out. Onto the loose ball, it's Omar Hernandez. Kelly and now Ayambila. Long legs to the end line, cutting it back in. There was only one player in the 18, and that was Mercer. Counter press, can't come away with possession, and AV Alta are out. The Red Wolves dig their foxholes. Defending with 10 as Matt Bentley watches on. Shoulder to shoulder with the fourth official. Osvaldo Light. Lands with a thud off the shin of Jerry Desdoon. Does recover it. Omesh sizing up his marker in for Desdoon. Shuffled wide. Oncoming is Alfredo Ortiz, contested by Ramos. Exeja Gonzalez. Desdoon plotting, putting in a shot that dips into the breadbasket of Jason Smith with little harm. They will have a hit from outside the box, AV Alta. In this age of ultimate maximization, in which the long shot has kind of come out of vogue as it just isn't really all that often an efficient opportunity. Ryan Clavin slants the other way. The amount of the ball that AV Alta have, he actually thinks it's highly necessary that they take shots from outside the box, so teams have to respect them in that area, step out and potentially present an opening to play into the 18. Desdoon dashing wide for Omesh, encroaching in the pivotal place. Scooped away by Adewole at the near post. Ramos puts in a bump and crosses the threshold of what's legal. Free kick. And this is where the window opens for Matt Bentley to be included into the squad for Red Wolves. He comes on. 4 goals from on the year. Been in a little bit of a slumping spell. So, the man from London, who probably is smarting a little bit based on the proceedings of what took place just a couple hours down the road in Atlanta earlier today. No way better than to get some medicine for a wounded heart, to go out and help your team get 3 points. Ball in, it's short. It was a choreographed routine, and it's out for a corner off a skip as Omesh saw his name up in lights. Free and clear to take that attempt from inside the 18-yard box. That's already his 3rd shot of the game. So many bodies in front of goal for the Red Wolves. Taken short. Arriving on the scene is Ortiz. Desdoon and Ortiz again. Well, that's a clever little pass to the end line. Omesh couldn't get his body around the cutback. He has been the one that has been the greatest conductor in the final phase of play. Adam Omesh so far in this one for AV Alta. Already so far at this point in the game, 28 touches for the winger, along with the aforementioned number of 3 shots. Yet to put one on target, though. Trying to make good use of that ball. AV Alta, and that ball is a Select ball. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, from the grassroots to the pros. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, it's the player's choice. Crunching tackle advantage, looked like it might be on. The referee saw enough to where he has to stop play, and we'll see if a caution will come with it. At least a stern discussion with Pedro Hernandez. He says enough, nothing more. So you're getting booked. So the captain is able to keep his nose clean enough. Omesh again. AV Alta have had about 80% of the ball, but that doesn't matter at all, considering the most important stat shows them deficient. 1-0 the score. If it does keep up on this trajectory, we're talking about an all-time lopsided affair on the possessional front. Driving in, Higuera spots Ortiz in field. Bahena, haven't called his name too much. Watching on, Cesar Bahena. Guides in across, Ramos wins the War of Wills in the 18, down the lay. Desdoon, shuddering through one tackle, gets chopped down, and that's a cheap foul to give away. The veteran Angelo Kelly left the leg out. Desdoon was happy to go over it, and it's a free kick in a danger area. Just outside the D, and this would be the best beachfront property for any free kick taker. No doubt about the foul. It is pretty shrewd from Desdoon to sense the defender was unawares. And this might be the moment for AV Alta. A little bit of a drop in the barometric pressure around the ground. Some chewed fingernails as AV Alta cue up. It's Alfredo Ortiz and Jerry Desdoon. This team did score a league record 6 free kick goals last year. All directs. Desdoon up and over and off the bar. He goes it again, it's blocked. Huffed away by Chattanooga Red Wolves, who get off the hook. There was lightning in the strike, and it's still not fully done away with. Jason Smith will happily take it in hands. Oof, that was close. Technique is spotless. Up and down, and the only thing stopping that was the woodwork. One of the highest quality players in this division, Jerry Desdoon, nearly did it again. Just another success story of the developmental pathway that Brian Claben is carving out here in the Antelope Valley. Desdoon undeterred. In fact, maybe invigorated. Omesh Gets met by Matt Bentley, who drops back in defense from his striker stance. Omesh, a wobbly step from Ramos, nearly touched earth there. Loosely to Pelivanov. Angelo Kelly stabs in. Couldn't bully it back for the Red Wolves. Sticks with it though. A consummate Red Wolves moment. Ripped away by Angelo Kelly, pure will. A tear in the eye of the manager, Scott McKenzie, at the fight of his midfielder. I take it back. That man does not cry. But if he did, he might get emotional about that kind of work. That was fantastic from Angelo Kelly. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Had to step in and try and win it. Gets his team forward. Those are the margins in a game like this. Ramos wriggling. Now a shot. It's blocked off the backside. Looked like Ceja Gonzalez put himself in front. Still with Wine and Wessels, who scoops it into the channel. Bentley arrives first. Chattanooga gets some bodies in the box here. Targets aplenty. Over the head of Mercer. Wessels summoning it. Slithering away. The shot's blocked again, this time from Hernandez. Now maybe the break is on the other way. Angelo Kelly playing pursuant once more. Just tried to get in a foul, and that tug will be the first caution of the match. Stopping a promising attack, no doubt about it. And Angelo Kelly will happily take that caution. Thumbs up, in fact. Worth the price of admission there. As Alta had numbers and Red Wolves were off balance. 8 minutes of stoppage time, wow. We did have the long injury pause for Opapaments, as well as a hydration break.
The official has issued a caution.
No question as to what the intention was from Angelo Kelly. Also have plenty of runway to get even before the intermission. Opapaments scored and had to be exited from the game with injury. Already adding to what has been a dramatic and exciting first act here in the state of Tennessee. Higuera carving in a cross. These have all been put biteless for Alta on the crossing front and threaded through. Charging ahead, Pedro Hernandez in the sidecars, Mercer. Hernandez heaves it high. Saw the defender sag off just a bit with that oncoming run from Grayson Mercer. That was the only invitation he needed. Pedro Hernandez, the captain, can't get it down though. Villalobos, Higuera, Christian Ortiz. Good things happen when he touches the ball. Christian Ortiz, 2 goals on the year from his fullback station. A bit of a heavy touch. It's bandied about. Red Wolves will claim custody. Clearance hits straight off the back of Osvaldo Ley and falls to Omesh. Omesh again, and just narrowly saved away. It was a late reaction by Jason Smith. Have to imagine didn't fully see it. Looked like he was sliding to his left. Quickly had to jump back to his right, but he does keep it clean. That is 4 shots in the half for Adam Omesh. Wessels on the half turn. Well worked ball wide for Ramos, who's in acres of space. Thundering forward Ramos. Josh Ramos left the ball behind him. Gets barricaded from it. Game's starting to get a little bit less tethered together. Maybe the effects of a hard-charging affair on a summer day in the South starting to set in. Fitness is the #1 priority for Scott McKenzie. His team will not shy away from the running that is required. Of course, it is much more strenuous to run and chase to the degree that they are compared to AV Alta. Pilovanov plowing wide. It's Bahania drifting out to the flank. Osvaldo Lay opening up the attack to the near side. Omesh summoning. Omesh a step over on the left peg. Desdoon was waiting on it to come to him, never got there. Red Wolves again under siege. Adam Omesh. Osvaldo Lay. Pilovanov, Christian Ortiz, and Lay levels it through to Omesh, who will get there. It was a teasing cross, and Adewole steps in crucially. Osvaldo Lay rips himself free. Lay lining up a shot. It's blocked by Angelo Kelly. Into the final 2 minutes of stoppage time nearly now. Villalobos, non-stop onslaught from the Californians. Desdoon. Just too many red shirts in front of him. Bahania again, grabbing hold. Slants away from one tackle, now two. Still, it's Cesar Bahania. He gets brought down, the shot comes! Dips into the roof of the net. Advantage was there, the referee was open to giving up a free kick for AV Alta, but Desdoon saw it come to him and couldn't resist. All things considered, Chattanooga will be smiling from ear to ear with how this game has gone by. If there is only one fraction of a grimace, it will be because they lost their striker in the early going. Ropapa-Mensah to an injury. Other than that, five-star performance. Game going exactly how they would want to. Nick a goal on a corner kick. Dig in, defend, and do what you do. The sleeves stay rolled up around these parts. Osvaldo Lay. Swiveling touch from Alfredo Ortiz and Desdoon. And Omesh needs imagination. That's not going to do it. Crammed to the opposite end by Grayson Mercer. There might be one last push in this for AV Alta. Seja Gonzalez, Villalobos, gonna get some forward thrust. The referee gives it a think and allows Alta to play on. Desdoon! It had the right kind of shape, but not the right kind of pace, and Jason Smith will catch it. That should be enough. It looks like it will be. Halftime arrives, and it's the Red Wolves that have been the better of the two sides. A bare-knuckle brawl here in the Volunteer State. Both squads will regroup at halftime and try and get their legs back underneath them for a testing 45 minutes that are on the near-handed horizon. As for now, we set to step aside. It would be the Red Wolves who struck first, fighting hard against AV Alta from a corner kick. A historic goal for Ropapa-Mensah as he draws even with the all-time mark for the Red Wolves. AV Alta have a climb in front of them. We'll dissect that first frame when we come back. Halftime coverage up next. live from Tennessee, where the Red Wolves here in this USL League One tie have put themselves in the proper position. 1 goal to the good. At home, out in front of AV Alta. Other happenings around the division, some of the highlights from the week that was. We take you now to the team of the week in the USL League One. No action in the division at the weekend with the Brinks Tires USL Cup in full swing, but this group for week 17 and 18 were the ones that were getting all the headlines. Bobby Murphy once more as the coach of the week for Portland Hearts of Pine. A big performance from Abubakar Kamara has him set up as the player of the week. We'll show you his performance and why he's won that accolade, as well as the save of the week and the goal of the week. That's coming to you now.
Goes for goal, and it's in! It is brilliant from Baccaro, and it's all square in Charlotte.
John Baccaro is no stranger to superb strikes. He squares up the free kick, and watch the goalkeeper. He lets his wall do the work. He isn't cheating at all, gets full extension, but Baccaro's strike opposite of the wall is struck off the post and in. It's set-piece mastery from Baccaro for your select USL League One goal of the week.
5 and 6 up home. Bowen inward. Medina heads it down, pushed out by Smith. Back-to-back corners for Corpus Christi. Udati in trouble. Alvarez with the poach. And the shove. Luis Alvarez fights through contact. Luis Alvarez! How could you not be entertained? He fights through the contact and powers it home.
Two USL clubs decorated with history and hardware. Last year, Louisville City raised the Player Shield as the best team during the season.
At long last, the breakthrough for Louisville
But the Pittsburgh Riverhounds raised the USL Championship trophy for winning it all.
USL Championship winners.
Two title contenders collide in the Steel City, Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Louisville City. Saturday, July 18th at noon Eastern on CBS.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Hay mucha fiesta, San Martino. Hay revancha, doctor. Pero falta gol, estamos a esperar a Hugo. ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Súbete, Luis! ¡Llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chapar, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Vas al norte! A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso. ¡Listo, vamos!
This is your moment.
things bubbling up as a dramatic second act is quickly approaching here in the state of Tennessee. The Red Wolves, a goal out in front of AV Alta. But for now, we check in with Dan Lucas for all the happenings around the USL. Dan, take it away.
It is halftime in League One. We'll get you back out to your match shortly. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with the headlines. The final group stage of the Prinks Tires USL Cup was a big day for League One. A pair of clubs advanced to the quarterfinal knockout stage. Spokane Velocity scored a 3-1 victory over the Oakland Roots of the USL Championship, then got the boost it needed from AC Boise, defeating Sacramento Republic to advance as the Group 1 winner. Spokane finished group play with 3 straight wins in regulation. And Charlotte Independence stunned Charleston Battery of the championship, winning a penalty kick shootout after a 2-2 draw. Charlotte wins Group 6, and that match extended its unbeaten streak to 14. The USL Cup quarterfinals will take place on Wednesday, August 12th. Tampa Bay hosts Louisville City. Charlotte will host Hartford Athletic. Spokane welcomes Colorado Springs, and San Antonio will host Miami FC. Upcoming national spotlight games, the big one in the championship this Saturday on CBS. Pittsburgh Riverhounds hosting Louisville City at noon Eastern. Next Wednesday, Oakland Roots at Lexington SC on CBS Sportsnet and 2DN. Then next Saturday, Detroit City hosts Las Vegas Lights on ESPN2. San Antonio hosts Indy 11 on the 31st on CBS Sportsnet. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Why do you always seem to be on that last flight home? Why is the customer always right, even when they're wrong? It's because when it's your business, you're all in. And no one's all in with you like EPB. Only EPB is all in with 100% fiber fast internet that's always your best value. Plus experts all in to help you 24/7. We're all in Chattanooga because we're all in this together. EPB for your business. We're all in.
And he scores!
Through every stage of life, it's great to have a partner to help you take the next step. To open that first checking account, build credit, save for the future, plan for retirement, and create a legacy for those who matter most. From that first milestone to all the moments ahead, greater awaits. Bank OZK.
This isn't just a team, it's a statement. We don't just represent Chattanooga.
Let's get it poppin', let's get it poppin'.
We run it.
Let's get it poppin'.
Built to battle. Fueled by pride. Driven by the pack.
Let's get it poppin'.
Chattanooga Red Wolves.
45 minutes with serious significance approaching here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 1-0. The home-sided Red Wolves out in front of AV Alta, who will not let go of the rope easily into this second period of play. Peyton Geller here to bring you all the breadth and width of the game that is to come over the next half of play. But for what we saw, 45 minutes in, and that's Red Wolves putting this pretty much in. We saw how quickly in succession the pressure was mounting for AV Alta, who with 4 shots on target and 12 shots in the half, would have to fancy their chances to maybe get one against the Red Wolves. Chattanooga, it would take a really gutty performance to dig down and win this game 1-0. They'll likely know that. But they have been good on the counter, putting 3 shots on target in their own right. As it stands, one of the most lopsided possessional battles in the history of the USL League One. 79% do not adjust your set. That is the correct number. Maybe Alta can be expected to have even more of the ball as we step out for the live scene ahead of this second half. Once more, again, Peyton Geller here to bring you all that this potentially instructive tie has to offer. Big points on the line as folks file back into their positions ahead of the commencement of play for half number 2. dull buzz of anticipation, two unchanged sides coming out of the dressing room now. Red Wolves did use the one substitution in the first half to exit Ropapa-Mensah and replace him with Matt Bentley. They have 4 changes to make in 2 separate windows. AV Alta have all 5 available to them and Brian Clavin. Hadjic will turn the light green and send us in motion. And we move from Chai Memorial Stadium, half number 2. Red Wolves won the first frame. Can AV Alta return the favor? They've done it several times before this year. Jimmy Villalobos against his former club has not put that on the right path. Desdune was the intended target. It's intercepted by Angelo Kelly. Out of the blocks, Red Wolves. They will relish those moments where they can send the numbers forward in force. Try and have that smash and grab moment where they get the second goal and really get themselves in good shape. Any shallow pass, any bad ball, that will be their signal to get forward in mass. Villalobos between the center backs. Oftentimes when Alta are just knocking it around at the back, it's because they're starting to fashion the overload they want somewhere upfield. Almost can be more dangerous the further they are away from goal. This is Omish closing in. Omish onto the right foot. Not sure if it's by his own hand or by the hand of a Red Wolves player, but it looks like he's adjusted his attire, maybe a split in his collar. Slipped in for Omish in a good spot. It comes all the way through and just flashes wide. That was mighty close, too close for comfort. As Omish again puts himself in the midst of what was nearly a meaningful moment. Blocked by Adewole. And it may have just left a little paint on the crossbar as it came close. Higuereta in. At the near post, blocked again. This time off the line. That was charting for side netting. Was that Omish once more? Ramos gets the block. My goodness, what do AV Alta have to do? It was Ramos and it was Omish. That is 6 shots for Adam Omish in the 47th minute. And the cross comes springing out of play. Another nearly moment in what is pretty much become a slideshow of them for AV Alta. How many more of these brushes with fate can Chattanooga Red Wolves endure? Off the head of Bentley. Loosely into the center. Denzel Smith. Ortiz. AV Alta with a long road to hoe. Pushed into the middle. Christian Ortiz. Bahena. Omish dances away from one. Flings in a shot, it's wide. He's not going to stop. A player whose confidence just simply doesn't dip, and that is a good quality. There is some sort of saying that goes like you miss 100 shots, 100% of the shots, I should say, that you don't take. Omesh has taken a lot of them today. In fact, I may have miscounted. He's taken several throughout the course of the game. In fact, he's taken 10 total against the Red Wolves this year, which is the most by any individual player against any individual team. You include the figures from the game prior played in March. Scuttling in on the right foot again, it's Omesh. It's Vondelay. He'll queue up another, this time it's blocked. And that might strike out the break for Chattanooga Red Wolves, who fling forward. Grayson Mercer at full gate. Rounding in towards the 18, waiting for reinforcement to come, and never does, and that's wasted. Just getting the actual counting on shots from Adam Omesh at this point. He's up to 8. 4 of them have been blocked as Scott McKenzie will lay claim to the ball. That is the most by any player this season. The most ever in a game in league history is 11 by Trevor Ammon. Coming back in 2023. Uzo Tobina also shares regard to that high mark with 11 as well. That in 2021 for the Richmond Kickers, against the Richmond Kickers, I should say. So that's where we're at with the antics of Adam Omesh. Can he score one? That's the question to be answered. Iambila dragged down. He did score last game against Phoenix Rising. On that occasion, it was a penalty. Foul call on the drag back. There will be a certain deliberance for Red Wolves anytime there is a dead ball. Held on to by Pelivanov, who is able to shake free of the shadow of Pedro Hernandez. Back to Denzel Smith at the end line. It's a bouncy first touch, but he does well to clear it up. Header won by Ramos. Taken down by Alfredo Ortiz. This is currently the highest share of possession in any game in the history of USL League One. That one team has had by about 3%. AV Alta beating their own high water mark from earlier this year, back in March when they had 76% against the Richmond Kickers. Does not look like there's any relent in it. Omesh can't get a shot away this time. Bentley nipping at his heels. The link up with Pedro Hernandez, who draws the foul from Pelivanov. Card is out of the pocket. That should be a yellow. 4th of the year for Kaloyan Pelivanov. There's a good peek at the initial collision. Looked like a clean tackle. That one certainly was not, though. Overstretched, no shoulder-to-shoulder contact. Stops an emerging break. Textbook yellow card. Professional foul. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, hear live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157, Sirius XM app. Premier League season on the horizon. just starting to drum up anticipation for that, but there's still this World Cup final to be played. Don't know if you've heard about it. Confirmed today that it will be Argentina defending their crown. It's the European champion Spain. In by Hernandez, it bounces over the head. Eric Ceja Gonzalez will be rounded up, wrestled down by Matt Bentley. This is a chance for Red Wolves, one of the very few of them, to inhabit the attacking half. Launched in over the top. Nobody on side to aim for Jason Smith. Villalobos. Red Wolves can't waste those moments where they get the ball. Having a couple instances today where they have been left a little bit wanton. Nearing upon the hour mark. Osvaldo Ley scanning and sloping to the near touchline. Higuera can't brush off Ayambila, and the teenager in a tussle. Not enough to get it off the veteran defender, Jordan Ayambila. You do wonder when Brian Clavin might look into his dugout, try and change things up. Long cross-country travel from the state of California. Game at the weekend against Phoenix Rising. There is a high degree of trust in anybody who's on this roster. If you are on this AV Alta squad, you will get the opportunity to play. Brian Clavin has demonstrated that time and time again. But on a day where Higuera is making his first league start of the year, there's been maybe a little bit of lack of sharpness on this near side. Testoon can't free himself up. Omish. Testoon from the midfield. Villalobos scrambled away by Angelo Kelly. And again, just pay a mindful eye to these clearing efforts and how far Red Wolves are able to heave it away. Every second of rest counts against the ball the way they have been. Again, tracking for what will be the hardest defensive shift in terms of the weight of the game in the history of the league. AV Alta hanging on to the highest degree of possession we've ever seen in a League One fixture to this point. Just around 79%. Higuera joining up in the attack. Osvaldo Ley. Omesh unable to attach himself. Check out the new 2026 Chattanooga Red Wolves kit along with t-shirts, scarves, novelty items, and much more at ChattanoogaRedWolves-SC.com. Picked up by Villalobos. Ortiz in combination. Maybe not enough movement, at least not to the degree that you typically expect from AV Alta. Regular churn of the midfield has been inert against this Red Wolves defense that's been a little bit ironclad. Jason Smith a couple saves, but he's not had to work all too hard. Higuera punched away. Pelivanov now picking up the wheel. Christian Ortiz gets going at the end line. The cross comes. Slashing to the opposite end of the 18. Bahania going for goal. Left it high. Goal kick. And they will extract every second. Already managing the moment. As we will get a change for Chattanooga Red Wolves. It will be a singular one as our own Lombardi is the one called upon. Pedro Hernandez, his day comes to an end. A lot of hard running at the front end of that press. Oftentimes he's been maybe the player that Red Wolves have been aiming for when they try to start the break. So we'll see how Lombardi factors into that equation. It's a very important job and what the rest of this proceeding will offer for the Red Wolves. Lombardi has been no stranger to the substitute cameo, now making his 9th of the year in the league. Out for a throw. Red Wolves have it in hand. the possessional edge in slant won't really bother the Red Wolves, just in terms of what they're able to do with the ball. So far this year, they've averaged a shot every 21 passes, getting a box touch every 11, which is obscene, quite frankly. They make good use of it. They go long and straight when they have the ball, as they do here. Into the box, flicked on overhead. Adewole just taking a stab at glory. And at the hour mark, it is a goal kick for AV Alta. Another Prinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes. For your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter today. I think that may have come up and hit a hand. That is the deeming of the referee. Just in regards to the Prinks Tires USL Cup. Now, Chattanooga Red Wolves out of the tournament, yes, but a bit of a boon for League One, as it looks like a yellow card will be shown here for Grayson Mercer, likely for delaying the restart. So that's really important for bookkeeping. Mercer will have to be on his P's and Q's the rest of the way, but League One placing 2 teams into the knockout. Charlotte Independence will have that opportunity to press on and maybe knock off the team that won the competition last year. First round fixture coming up. See Hartford Athletic, and then after that, as Omesh charges into the area, and it's cued away by Kinsner. Spokane Velocity will get to re-engage with Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Refacing of those 2 teams who saw each other in 120 minutes in the U.S. Open Cup. Greenville got all the way to the semifinal last year. Can either of those two teams one-up them, maybe get to a final? Prinks Tires USL Cup doing exactly what it's supposed to do, giving us these matchups of circumstance between the 2 divisions who get to test themselves against one another. Here's Pelivanov, who skews it wide. Not even a tick up of the heart rate from Jason Smith, who's bringing out the party tricks out of the goal kick. Who needs feet to juggle? The goalkeepers juggle off the hat. Tying up another clean sheet for a goalkeeper who's had quite a few of them the last couple of seasons. Throttled wide to Desdoon, and now all the way wide to Omesh. Still kind of can't believe AV Alta haven't gone to the bench. Villalobos. Omesh serving in. Hooked away by Kinsner. Now Omar Hernandez trying to lead the raiding party out. Lost sight of the touchline though. Ball back with AV Alta. Alfredo Ortiz and Jerry Desdoon. Wobbly bit of possessional play from Christian Ortiz, and the Red Wolves are pressing forward with numbers in front. Battled back by Mercer, who's on the yellow card. He's got to be careful. Pelivanov was the one who received the bump. And they're making the argument that it's just 2 players clashing, going after a bouncing ball in behind. I don't know how much substance there is to that debate, though. Pelivanov clearly getting there first. Just kind of a clumsy tackle from Mercer. No referee should be sending a player off for a second yellow for that, but it does show a degree of reckless abandon that Mercer is playing with, and having already brought on Matt Bentley because of Ropapa Mensah's injury earlier in the game, there aren't a lot of striker options the Red Wolves could call upon in the dugout. And if they wanted to get Mercer out of the game just for the sake of safety. Does look like against the ball, though, that Bentley is operating as the left winger. Going to come, a pair of AV Alta players coming to get final instruction from that man, Brian Claben. It does look like a substitution is coming soonly. Down by Christian Ortiz. Do they enter a very different game? That's the question to be answered as AV Alta move into the attack again with a free kick. A year ago, Eduardo Blancas in this team, likely testing the target. Is there somebody bold enough to maybe grab this one by the scruff of the neck and take it upon themselves to see if they can get the better of Jason Smith here? The substitutions will hold off for Alta for the time being. Only a two-man wall. Jason Smith sorting out his levy and laying the sandbags as he likes. It's Desdune who goes away from it. Alfredo Ortiz, the other option. With the facing of his body. Well, he's going to slide it in. Desdune cutting it back. And it's just poached by Mbila. Stuck a foot out and harpooned the ball inside the 18 before clearing his lines, and that will create the avenue for Alta likely to make some substitutions here potentially. Ball on the bleachers and a helping hand from one of those spectators. The support does go up and we do get the changes. Osvaldo Lay, his day is done. Rendon Thomas coming in. Did start in the cup match. So too goes Higuereta. Couldn't make the impact. Through 67 minutes, he's replaced by Elias Omesh. Powerful Parisian in his own right. Partner, Adam Omesh. Impact players on either wing. Bahena. They need to show some sharpness, AV Alta here on the road. Adam Omesh back in for Bahena, just slightly overhit. Be curious to see if we get a hydration break in this period. Has been a hot one again in the state of Tennessee. The mercury always hanging in those 80-degree territories this time of year. And it does look like the hydration break arrives 2/3 through the game. If you're just now joining in, switching between the channels and following along with all the League One action in swing today, this is our goal. Happening while the sun was still shining, and it shone brightly upon Ropapa Mensah. Got a goal for the history books, tying the all-time league record. 4 career goals for Chattanooga Red Wolves in USL League One play. With that tally to make it 1-1, 1-0 I should say. Juan Galindrez, the one who shares joint custody of that mark now. And that is all that there has been to it. AV Alta been chasing from that moment on. Teams stirring up, understanding what is required for the final push, with plenty looking on, and it's a good time to tell you the soccer season is here, and SeatGeek, official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. They've gotten to see a gutty performance, those who have filled into the ground tonight from the home side of the Red Wolves. That is almost always the case for this team, who do throw themselves at every 90 minutes at full bore. This one has been a little bit different though, with the amount that they have endured under heated conditions, both in terms of the context of the game and the actual atmosphere. It's one of those matches that, with the posture it's taken, AV Alta now at 80% possession, which again is the current high water mark for a team in a game in the history of USL League One. A change being made to help see it out. Omar Gomez coming on. This is one of those games where, as Red Wolves have to put more and more into it, if you do drop it, it becomes that much more excruciating. Wyndon Wessel's the one making way. Angelo Kelly is on a yellow card, as is Grayson Mercer. Pelvanov the other way for AV Alta. Into the final 20 minutes. $19 shots for AV Alta on the day. 4 of those landing on target. Despite such heavy domination of the ball, only 17 touches in the box. Jonas Lalin has come into the game as well for Chattanooga Red Wolves. His first touches partnering Ayambila. AV Alta need to get clear. Pelovanov dicing with danger. Rides the tackle of Ayambila and plays a brilliant pass to get out. Jerry Desdoon, their leading light. 10 goal contributions on the year. Gobbled back up by Omar Hernandez. Hasn't had a ton of access to the game, but has put in a pretty defensive shift, as would be the expectation. Gets back to his feet after taking a bit of a blow. Red Wolves relishing any opportunity they get to just string together a couple passes and make AV Alta take a dose of their own medicine. Lalin and Ayambila. Looks like Jonas Lalin is setting up as effectively a left winger. Matt Bentley going up top. Grayson Mercer has exited on that yellow card. So it will be Bentley leading the line, as well as Lombardi the rest of the way. A twist from Omar Gomez, and Lalin threaded wide. Bentley! Lombardi was waiting on it. Never got there. Pelovanov held his nerve. Desdoon, a lassoing first touch. The ball just magnetized to him. Omish. Seeing Desdoon start to try and team up on that far side with Omish a little bit more here, and play has stopped as a player's gone down. I think that might be Angelo Kelly. Now, to my understanding, Red Wolves are out of substitution windows. Hydration break doesn't count in the same way that a halftime substitution does, in the sense that it's a free substitution window, at least in my accounting of the rules. So unless there was a head injury to Ropapa Mensah in the first half, Red Wolves would not be allowed to make their 5th and final change here.
Gatorade, the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, once the clock hits the 80th minute, beer will no longer be available at stadium concessions.
So Angelo Kelly, who is on the booking, would be a smart player potentially for Scott McKenzie to swap out here to see it out, is down. Red Wolves have made 3 windows of change as the referee signals over to the dugout. The swap needs to be made. The universal sign for substitution. Making that looping rotation with his fingers there, and you just see Angelo Kelly start to pull up and change his gait a little bit as he covered back defensively, and then he falls down to his haunches. Could be about a cramp. That's what you would hope for. Nathan Donahoe appears to be the called upon substitute for AV Alta, or rather I should say Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last call for alcohol. Once the clock hits the 80th minute, beer will...
And again, I could be wrong about this, but with Ropapa Mets having to be replaced in the 39th minute, and then Lombardi coming on at the hour mark, and then 2 more changes out of the hydration break, Gomez and Laline coming on. Unless the substitution window wasn't counted coming out of the hydro break, or there was a potential head injury substitute, which would make a 6th available to both teams. Red Bulls were out of substitution windows there. Matters not now, it's a footnote. So Donahoe comes on. That wipes the deck clean in terms of players having to think about a yellow card in the back of their mind before going in for a tackle for Red Wolves. Elias Omesh skirts by Laline, floating in toward the top of the area. Onto it is Adam Omesh. Omesh going for goal off the block and out. Goal kick. An AV Alta player in the crowd. Tick, tick, tick. Alta have been fast starters and fast finishers. 12 of their 23 goals have come in the 15 minutes to start a game or 15 minutes to end a game. They've been at their best in this closing phase. Can they wear down Chattanooga Red Wolves and their resolve? Falco. Launched into nobody in particular, and it will go out for a goal kick. On the field, smart decisions win games. Off the field, smart decisions save lives. If you've been drinking, don't drive. Pass your keys to a sober friend, call a rideshare, or take public transit. Fans don't let drunk fans drive. Reminder from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, Division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. Laline latching on. 3-man in the middle. Omar Hernandez. That was almost real danger. Omar Gomez bouncing right off the tackle. Second follow-on tackle from Rendon Thomas, who jabs out and bites at the calf of Omar Gomez, and will be fortunate to escape without a yellow card. Massively fortunate, in fact. That was a frantic bit of tackling. First one comes in, just stuck the leg out and tripped him. Don't think there was any intent to play the ball there. Nonetheless, onward and upward. AV Alta compelled. Line splitting ball. Will leak all the way back for Ian Bila, who takes it back to Jason Smith. Barney missing out. Pelivanov pushing it forward for Elias Omesh. Maybe Alta emerging in the final third. Rendon Thomas can't lay full claim to it. Laline. Red Wolves are having more of the ball over the last 5 minutes than they have the entire game. Kinsner. Laline. Leaned it into the middle for Donahoe. A hard tackle from Iambila will get him in the book. Yellow card. Jordan Iambila.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The official has issued a caution to Chattanooga Red Wolves number 33, Jordan Iambila.
Villalobos, the one taking the injury. That is a nervous man. Maybe not. Scott McKenzie, he is steely-eyed. Trusts his team to get this job done. Do something they've done so many times before. Nonetheless, AV Alta are hotly in pursuit, trying to get a point on the road. Scraping in is Elias Omesh. Lining up Laline. They go shoulder to shoulder. Brushed into the middle. What a touch from Rendon Thomas! Taken right off his toes. And swooped away by Chattanooga Red Wolves. That was a glorious bit of defensive play. It was Christian Angbin who had just checked into the game. And another change. This time it'll be Steven Ramos. Pushed into play. 20-year-old, not played a whole bunch this year. Christian Ortiz, the one that makes the plays for him. With Angman coming into the game, that has to be what actually took place there, because that is the 6th change for Chattanooga Red Wolves. So there must have been a head injury substitution made available in the first half whenever Ropapa-Mensah had to come off. Laline jacking away to the end line. Maybe also going the wrong direction. Donahoe chasing with fresh legs. Villalobos side to side. Maybe also have gotten blunter and blunter, and not in the good way. Down the back half here, not making their points cleanly. Just kind of hitting their head up against the wall in the attacking ambitions. Laying down the beat. Tangling in a crowd of bodies is Omar Gomez. And fumbled out over the line for a throw. Turn to CBS on Saturday, July 18th for a USL Championship Eastern Conference Showdown. Last season's champions, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they go head-to-head. The 2025 Players Shield winners, Louisville City FC, a must-watch match of the summer. 2 elite clubs, 1 massive stage. Don't miss a minute of the action on CBS at noon Eastern on July 18th. Big one at the weekends. Of course, Louisville getting that big win over Lexington in the Cup at the weekend, securing their spot in the knockout there. Starting to come good for Simon Bird after a bit of a rocky start after the departure of Danny Cruz. Lombardi down and ailing, and one thing is for certain, he cannot be substituted. Red Wolves are definitely tapped out now. If a player does get hurt for Chattanooga Red Wolves, they will be down to 10 the rest of the way. Brendan Thomas able to needle through another intervention by Giannis Lalin. Villalobos scanning the scene and muscling forward. Iambila cuts it off. Lalin can't pick up the second ball. Brendan Thomas, Elias Omesh. Popping into a gap. And it's Chattanooga Red Wolves, despite all the running and chasing, that are finishing this match stronger. They have been the more convicted into every duel down the last half hour or so. Into the middle for Omesh. Hustled along to Bahenia. Now Adam Omesh. Red Wolves clinging to the ledge, trying to hold their grip. In for Desdune. Shot coming. Peeled away. Ramos. Elias Omesh. Back post. Brendan Thomas was waiting. Now another pop and skipped wide. Bahenia put his laces to it. Couldn't keep his cool. Was it blocked? The answer appears to be no. It came out to Omesh. It come all the way from right wing out to left wing. And that is about as close as AV Alta have come in quite some time.
By Pepsi. Thirsty for more with Pepsi. Pepsi is the exclusive beverage partner of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Gatorade, the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Nicholas Relaford being put through the final checklist by Brian Claben as one final addition for the roadside. And on comes Relaford. He will replace Alfredo Ortiz. So both fullbacks now out after long shifts, bombing up and down the touch lines for AV Alta. Nearly 9 p.m. local time, and the sun is yet to fully set. We are in the throes of the summer months. Things starting to become more and more important with every passing fixture and week. Red Wolves trying to ensure that they are able to collect the points in hand that they can get. They've only played 12 matches so far this year. Ramos, sturdy bit of tackling off the foot of Lombardi. We have had the moment of pause for hydration in this half, so that should be at least 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the next 90 seconds. The board is being calibrated. Bahenia slithering by Donahoe. Every touch that AV Alta take that's left and right, not north and south, those are wins for Chattanooga Red Wolves. Ceja Gonzalez. Bahenia, not the right combination there. Villalobos. I haven't seen enough of this direct dispatch from AV Alta trying to get in behind and over the top. Been a much more present part of their game this year. The Wolves have afforded them no space in behind. Elias Omesh. Popping infield. Steven Ramos spearing forward. Adam Omesh now. Desdoon does the dance and has a corner kick for AV Alta.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Stoppage time will be 6 minutes.
6 minutes of stoppage time.
The Red Wolves know what they need to do. AV Alta, one of their better chances coming up from a corner of this half. Belongs to a lethal man in Jerry Desdoon. Couldn't clear that first hurdle at the near post, headed away. Not much left in the top half of the hourglass, but there are tensions fraying. Player down in the box is Jordan Iambila, away from him. Less than pleasant words being exchanged between several AV Alta and Chattanooga Red Wolves players. Lombardi and Ramos in the thick of it. Adam Omesh as well as Steven Ramos on the other side.
Following the conclusion of the match.
Now the referee's had his attention pointed to something else. Iambila jousting verbally with Elias Omesh. Referee Amin Hadjic, a veteran at the USL level, saying enough is enough. This should all be factored into the allotment of stoppage time. We should easily see the 97th minute now. Only about 30 seconds had come and gone before all this fracas could stir up. Recommencing play with a crystal clear imperative for AV Alta. Bahena, just no way through. Red Wolves unrelenting, and they raid forward in force. Iambila makes up his mind. Pinched back by AV Alta. Pelivanov. Iambila looked like he was trying to drag at the shirt of Elias Omesh, but he loses out. Lost touch, but on to the loose ball is Rendon Thomas. Sliding intervention, takes the sting out of it momentarily. Omar Gomez sticking in. Now Desdoon darting away. The ball belongs to him as he breezes into the box, away by Iambila. Every clearance like a cool glass of lemonade on an excruciatingly hot summer's day for Chattanooga Red Wolves. That is the elixir they need. Rendon Thomas. AV Alta can't let go. Adam Omesh is now the moment for him. The answer is no, but it's still loose. Iambila clears it again. And spilling all the way into the opposite half. Denzel Smith will have to keep it alive. Just more than halfway played of the allotted stoppage time. Only one goal in it, authored by Ropapa Mensah in the first half. Adam Omesh. Spinning and twisting, he's up a cul-de-sac. And cued away again by Jordan Iambila. He's trying to stretch out. It's been excruciating this game. Extracted everything and more from Chattanooga Red Wolves. And a fight for fitness at the end. Rellerford, Eric Ceja Gonzalez. Denzel Smith, all but an outfield player from this point out. Jimmy Villalobos in the confines that were once his. Former Red Wolves player aims in. Away by Iambila again. Less than 2 minutes for AV Alta to save themselves on the road. Desdoon. They need him now. Their main man, Jerry Desdoon. Spraying wide, Elias Omesh thought about it. Now Desdoon wide, AV Alta in and out by Engman. That looked like it would be the chance. They finally found a way to dissolve the block of Chattanooga Red Wolves and get a free man runner bearing down on goal. Just unable to get the ball out from underneath his feet at pace. Desdoon did everything right, but just took a bounce up in front of the oncoming runner. That was Adam Omesh, who couldn't get the shot unleashed. Engman clears it up once more. If there's any question about the guile of the Chattanooga Red Wolves, don't know why there would, first and foremost, but it doesn't exist anymore, and that young man knows precisely what he's doing. Drifting in, down by Eric Ceja Gonzalez. Thrust away once more. Now again, there was about a minute of stoppage in the stoppage time, so Amin Hadjic will likely let this go beyond the 96th minute. It's grappled back by Josh Ramos. He senses the moment. Sprayed forward for Lombardi. Does he take it to the corner? Does he take it towards glory? Lombardi still gets it out from underneath him. Donahoe a little bit late to it. Amy Alta turn their attention toward the attacking end once more. Rellerford unimpeded, slips the first tackle and then the second, but not the third. A bridge too far. Donahoe runs straight into Bahena, and that'll work out just fine for Chattanooga Red Wolves. Denzel Smith, one last heave. Avi Alta straining to the max as it scrapes across the sky. Offline by Engman, away by Laline. Red Wolves have just about done it again. Throttling ahead, it's Elias Omesh. Brushing off a tackle. Locating Desdoon. A minute beyond what was given. Jerry Desdoon slaloming. Adam Omesh in a pocket, looks up, has a rip, it's blocked. Brendan Thomas can't get it free. Another block from Engman, and that will do it. A definitional Red Wolves 90 minutes and then some. One goal and one team with one heartbeat gets all 3 points against Avi Alta. The man of the match was the man who got them their goal, Ropapa Mensah. But he was a man amongst Titans today for the Red Wolves. That is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Highway Safety and Homeland Security. And it's Ropapa Mensah who gets that goal for the Red Wolves to get them the result they needed. Had to exit the game early with injury, but he did exactly what he needed to do. 1-0 Chattanooga, who get it out in front of Avi Alta. Very rare that this Alta team are shut out. Red Wolves, the resolve to get that conquest complete. And we will break it all down when we return. All smiles for the Red Wolves because of that man, Ropapa-Mensah. His goal was all it took. Final score 1-0 over AV Alta. Much needed points for the Tennessean club in their playoff pursuit to try and get back above the playoff line. Maybe slow lean. Bahania can't get it on target. Full-time stats, 21 shots, only 4 on target. AV Alta finished this game with the highest percentage of possession in the history of USL League One. They don't get a goal, and that's all about Chattanooga Red Wolves and what they were able to do defensively. One of the best ever defensive performances in the history of this division, and that is not stretching the imagination at all. Scott McKenzie gleaming with pride at what his team was able to dig out here tonight at home. Got what they needed, delivered what was required. And that just about sums things up here in the state of Tennessee. Another game in the USL League One. Another bit of history on multiple counts. Ropapa-Mensah, a big goal in the first half, and the Red Wolves cling on. Able to get all 3 points off of AV Alta here today. Our entire cast and crew, folks, as always, I've been Peyton Galler, and this has been the USL League One. Happy trails from Chattanooga. We'll talk to you soon. The final score 1-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.